was the night before Thanksgiving, the best holiday of the entire 365 days in the year, and we have a packed football slate ahead. What is going on, guys? And welcome back to 365 Analytics. And today, we are a day early on game picks this week. Obviously, we have Thanksgiving tomorrow, as I just said. It is Wednesday night, and we are picking games as we do every single week here on the channel. But this time it's a little early. We have a full slate for the first time, I believe, since week number 4. 0 bye weeks, 3 Thanksgiving games. We have a game on Black Friday. We have a packed Sunday slate, and we're going to have some fun picking these games this weekend. As always, before I get into today's video, if you guys do enjoy today's video, please like, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications for more content exactly like this one. We have a 365 recap every single week, every single Tuesday, as you saw last night on the channel. I'm talking about everything that happened in the previous weekend of football, sports in general. And yeah, obviously we do game picks every single Thursday usually, but today it's Wednesday because we have Thanksgiving tomorrow. So without further ado, let's get right into this. Starting off, as I said, we have no bye weeks this week. But last week we went a very, very respectable 12-2, and that brought our overall record on the season to 107, 70, and 1. So we're slowly climbing up those ranks, slowly getting our record better, and trying to get respectable on the season. So yeah, that brings our record on locks to 11-1 and upsets at 4-8. We have 2 straight wins in the upset column now. So yeah, let's stay hot. 12-2. Let's capitalize on that. We have a full 16 game slate. Yeah, should be interesting for sure. I had to get a sip of water before I went into this. Starting off, Thanksgiving afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock Eastern. You have an NFC North matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. The Packers, they're coming into this game, won a few in a row now, coming off a 23-6, 23-9 was it, win versus the Minnesota Vikings this past Sunday. The Packers defense played out of their mind. Jeff Hafley did his thing. No Josh Jacobs, no problem. Emmanuel Wilson had 2 touchdowns on the ground. Jordan Love didn't really even have to do much through the air. Green Bay got it done. They bring their record to 7-3-1, I believe. They're traveling to Detroit to play the Detroit Lions, the Motor City, your annual Thanksgiving afternoon game in Detroit. They're coming to this game at 7-4, coming off a grinded out, gritty, high scoring win versus the New York Giants last week, where Jameis Winston really did his thing. Jameis Winston did his thing. He's always going to do his thing. He played well. But the Detroit Lions are down by 10 at one point in that game. Jared Goff, the guys climbed all the way back. Jahmyr Gibbs had an absolute masterclass. I believe he had 2 or 3 touchdowns in the game. Played well enough for Detroit to end up climbing back in that game, winning. I believe they won the game 34-27. And yeah, this is going to be a very good matchup. This is pivotal for NFC North position. Green Bay, Detroit. Winner of this game takes number 1 in the NFC North if Chicago loses on Black Friday to Philadelphia, I believe. Because if Chicago lost, they go to 8-4. Detroit, they have a head-to-head versus Chicago, so they go to 8-4 if they won. And Green Bay would go to 8-3-1. So pivotal game. Winner takes number 1 in the NFC North if Chicago loses to Philadelphia on Friday. But in this game, I'm going to take the Detroit Lions at home. I know last season I picked a huge upset with my upset of the week, I think last season during Thanksgiving week, but last season I picked Chicago over Detroit on the annual Thanksgiving game because I always said Detroit chokes on Thanksgiving. Jared Goff has not won on Thanksgiving since he's been in Detroit, but that curse has been broken. Matt Eberflus didn't use his timeouts, and Detroit won that game. So this year, I'm taking Detroit at home. I think they are the better team than the Green Bay Packers. Frank Ragnow actually today just came out of retirement, which is interesting. That will be a big addition when he gets ready to go on the field. Probably going to be a week or 2 before he gets ready. So he's not going to play tomorrow, obviously, but a big get back for them. But I'm taking the Lions this game to win it. Next up, we go to the second game on the Thanksgiving slate. It's a Thanksgiving 4:30 game. It is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Dallas Cowboys in Arlington. By the way, I'd like to add This might be after tomorrow when the viewership numbers come out. This might be the most watched regular season game of all time. You have Mahomes, you have the Cowboys. The Kansas City Chiefs, they are coming off a come from behind, similar to the Detroit Lions, come from behind win at Arrowhead Stadium versus the Indianapolis Colts this past Sunday. I believe they were down 20-9 at one point. Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice, and the guys climbed all the way back. Harrison Butker kicked the game-winning field goal, kept Kansas City season, I don't want to say alive, but it kept it from going to life support. That's the bottom line. Kansas City season would have been at life support if they couldn't come from behind and win that Colts game. But they got it done. They're now 6-5. They are trying to get back in the AFC playoff race. The AFC West is probably far gone at this point, but here they are. They're playing the Dallas Cowboys, who also very, very much need a win. They're trying to keep their season going as well. They're coming off 2 straight wins, and they're coming off an upset win versus their biggest rival, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Cowboys are sitting at 5-1 right now. Offense is firing on all cylinders right now. Dak Prescott's playing good football. George Pickens is looking like a first-team All-Pro potential receiver right there with JSN. CeeDee Lamb is still doing his thing. They're playing well enough. Javonte Williams is still continuing that rebound season. Off all the injuries he dealt with in Denver, he's having his best season as a pro. So Dallas' offense is firing on all cylinders. The defense has even played better since Quentin Williams was added, since Logan Wilson was added. So this should be a very good game. Two teams that really need to win. Kansas City really, really would not like to drop to 6-6, and Dallas really, really, really would not like to go below 500, back below 500. So I'm gonna trust Mahomes in this one. This should be a very good game. I think offensive fireworks will be on display in this game. I think both quarterbacks will play well enough. I think Mahomes and Dak start both of those guys in fantasy. I expect their playmakers to play well. I expect Rashee Rice to play well. I expect Kelsey to do his thing. And I'm gonna take the Chiefs because I think a bigger stage for the Chiefs. I think they are more ready for a big game like this than Dak Pickens and CD. So I'm gonna take Kansas City to get it done and go to 7-5 and really keep their season going. And as they're looking to make a run here. Thanksgiving primetime, baby. It is my Cincinnati Bengals going to Baltimore to take on the Baltimore Ravens. This season has felt like an absolute nightmare, and we haven't even played the Baltimore Ravens yet. How crazy is that to say? We'll start for the Bengals. Joe Burrow is back. He has risen from the darkness, the long awaited return of number 9. And it's a huge debate right now. What's the situation? What do you do with Joe Burrow? Do you sit him for the rest of the season? You're sitting at 3-8. Do you tank the season? Do you call it a year? Joe Burrow says absolutely not. He's ready to go. He wants to play football. They pay him a lot of money to do what he does. And in his brain, he probably thinks Cincinnati Bengals can run the table at 3-8. The Bengals probably have to run the table to make the playoffs. They have to go 9-8. If they go 9-8 and they run the table, they have a good chance to win the AFC North. So can Burrow do it? If the defense played as good as they did last week, maybe. The defense didn't necessarily play well last week against New England, but they've been better. In the Steelers game week 11, the Patriots game week 12, they've been better than they were previously before the bye. So let's see what can happen there. Obviously, Jamar Chase is back from suspension this week. T. Higgins is in concussion protocol. He will not play. Trey Hendrickson, still with the hip injury. He will not play as well. He looks like he's having a lingering injury. Who knows if we'll see him ever suit up in a Bengals uniform again. As for the Ravens, they've won 5 games in a row at this point. They are 6-5, above 500 after the 1-5 start to the season. But necessarily, Lamar Jackson hasn't looked that great. It's been the defense. The driving force has been the defense. I mean, you've seen Kyle Hamilton play well. You've seen guys on the Ravens defense rebound. Zach Orr, Ravens fans were calling for Zach Orr's head at the first half of the season, so to speak. After they started 1-5, they've really rebounded. They've played like a top 10 unit in their 5-game winning streak at this point. Lamar Jackson still looks not perfect. Short week at home should be a big advantage. But you know what I'm saying. My team needs to run the table again in the playoffs. That's the bottom line. And is there a slim chance? Absolutely. Is that chance still there? It is. I'm taking the Bengals. Joe Burrow's returning. Maybe I'm delusional. Yeah, I probably am. But it's Thanksgiving prime time. I've been asking for a Thanksgiving game for years. Thanksgiving prime time. Bengals, Ravens. You'd be out of your mind to think I'm not taking the Cincinnati Bengals in this game. Give me the Bengals. Give me Joe Burrow in his first game back. Let's get to 4-8. Next up, it is a Black Friday game on the afternoon, 3 o'clock on Black Friday. We have a packed Black Friday slate, ladies and gentlemen. We have college football, NFL, everything you would like with the football world, but it's a very pivotal NFC matchup. It is the Chicago Bears taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. The Bears, they started the season 0-2. They are now sitting at 8-3, sole leaders of the NFC North right now as we speak. 8-3. They've won 8 of the last 9. They're firing on all cylinders right now. Caleb Williams, I don't want to say that they're overrated, but they're winning games in a very grinded out fashion. They're not winning them very convincingly. But in the end, Ben Johnson has these guys winning games. That's the bottom line. Win or lose, it really doesn't matter. As long as the W's in your column, that's the way to go. They're 8-3 right now. Got to give the Bears all the credit in the world. Caleb Williams is doing his thing. They're playing great. As for the Eagles, they were reeling a little bit, losing to the Dallas Cowboys this past Sunday, where they blew the door open. They took the lead 21-0. Dallas, Dak Prescott, George Pickens, they did their thing. They came back in the game and won 24-21. Philadelphia blew the lead. Jalen Hurts had 2 rushing touchdowns early. A.J. Brown had the first touchdown of the game, and it wasn't enough. We have still yet to really see Saquon Barkley get his groove this season. Kevin Patullo is probably going to be a one and done offensive coordinator, and he's kind of holding the Eagles offense back. Obviously, last year they had Kellen Moore. Last year they won a Super Bowl, so it's not looking good. Big regression from the Eagles offense. But Vic Fangio still has that defense firing on all cylinders. Jalen Phillips has been a huge addition. They still have playmakers. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, obviously Zach Bonds, a beast, Quinion Mitchell. They have playmakers across the defense at home Black Friday, coming off a loss to your division rival. I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles to get this one. I think they need a rebound win here. I think this is one where the close wins kind of start to get to Chicago. The close wins that start to bite Chicago, so to speak. And this is one that Philly gets, the more experienced team in big games like this. Standalone game, Amazon Prime exclusive. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles here to get this one done. Next up, we go to the 1 o'clock Sunday slate. As I said last week, international games are officially done. It is the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Carolina Panthers in Bank of America Stadium. The Rams, they're looking like your Super Bowl favorites right now, and that's the bottom line. I don't think many people in the football world would dispute that. Matthew Stafford's playing like the most valuable player. Devontae Adams is looking rejuvenated. He's looking like a revival in his career. Puka Nacua is still one of the best receivers in the National Football League. Kyron Williams and Blake Corum are an elite running back 1-2 punch. Defense has young stars, Byron Young, Kobe Turner. Um, yeah, they're playing great football right now. Number 1 seed in the NFC, your Super Bowl favorites. As for the Panthers, they're coming off a loss this past Monday, so they're operating on a 6-day week right now. They're 6-6, fighting for the spot in the playoffs right now. Unless they win that division over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's gonna look rough. This might be a game they need at home versus a far superior team than them. Matthew Stafford is playing absolutely out of his mind right now. Puka Nacua is doing his thing. I mean, I can't pick against the Rams right now, guys. I really, really want to pick Carolina in this game. I did. I want to pick Carolina. I think Bryce Young, Ted McMillan, Rico Dowdle, those guys are gritty, but I can't see them beating the number 1 seed in the NFC right now. They're not ready yet. Either way, if they keep doing their thing, their offense plays the way they have. Well, not really against the Niners. They didn't play really well against the Niners. Bryce Young had 2 interceptions, but if Bryce Young can continue going out there and throwing a lot of yards like he did against Atlanta, 430 yards, whatever it was, it's a successful year for Dave Canales and the Carolina Panthers. But right now, I can't pick them over the Los Angeles Rams. So in that game, give me the Rams. Next up, we have an interconference matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Cleveland Browns. The Niners, as we just talked about, they're operating on a 6-day week as well. They just beat those Carolina Panthers on Monday Night Football in a really defensive performance. Brock Purdy, their quarterback, he threw 3 interceptions in the game. But a win is a win. That's the bottom line. They're sitting at 8-4 right now. Kyle Shanahan, even with all the injuries they've suffered this season, Still has them rolling. Still has them rolling. A contender for coach of the year at this point. Maybe behind Mike Vrabel, but he has them rolling. Robert Saleh is looking to be a one and done as a defensive coordinator and hopefully be a head coach again next year after he got fired from New York last year. But he has that defense rolling right now with a lot of backups, a lot of depth pieces, and he has them playing out of their minds. That's the bottom line. The Niners are 8-4 right now. They're looking like a playoff contender in the NFC. As for the Browns, Shador Sanders, it is officially Shador Sanders' time in Cleveland. He is 1-0 as a starter, coming off a win versus the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas last week, where I mean, he wasn't great, so to speak, but he did enough. He did enough. You gotta give him credit. He did enough. He made a very, very good throw, rolling out to the right to Isaiah Bond. That was a huge, huge highlight. And he got a win. He started 1-0 in his career, and he was the first Brown starter to win their first career start as a quarterback since 1995, I believe, which is crazy. Since Bill Belichick was the head coach there. But yeah, good for them. Myles Garrett's playing out of his mind right now. He has 13 sacks in the last 4 games, so he's playing great. I'm going to take the Niners, though, in this game. I think Kyle Shanahan, I think they're the better coach team. I think they're the team playing for more, obviously, at this point. I don't really take much into account of Cleveland's win last week because they beat the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders are bottom two team in the league right there with the Tennessee Titans. You know me in this game. I got to take the 49ers here. Um, yeah, they're the better team here. I expect them to go to 9-4 and get this win. Next up, we have a huge game. And in week 3, so to speak, with the Indianapolis Colts sitting at 2-1 and almost knocked off the Los Angeles Rams, and the Houston Texans are sitting at 0-3. If you told me this was going to be a huge game, I'd call you pretty crazy. But here we are. It is an AFC South matchup between the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. The Texans, they're starting to get hot now. That's the bottom line. They're starting to get hot. Started the season 0-3. Davis Mills has stepped in for CJ Stroud. He's played well enough to win, but the driving force of their wins really has been the defense. They're sitting at 6-5 right now, trying to get into the thick of that AFC playoffs. And believe it or not, they might have their sights set on a AFC South title still. Even with Jacksonville ahead of them by 1 win, even with Indianapolis ahead of them by 2 wins, they still play the Colts twice. They still play the Colts twice. Ended up splitting with Jacksonville earlier in the year. So Houston's defense firing on all cylinders. Will Anderson's playing great football. Danielle Hunter still playing great football. Derek Stingley's one of the best in the league. Kamari Lassiter. They have playmakers all across the defense. But yeah, they have their sights set on an AFC South title. And if you want to get that, you got to win this game. They're traveling to Indianapolis to take on the Colts, who are coming off a loss to Kansas City on Sunday. As I said before, come from behind 20-9. They had the lead. Wasn't really a flashy performance from anyone, so to speak, but Lou Anarumo did his thing. He shut down Mahomes for most of the game. Jonathan Taylor was mostly kept and contained, to be honest with you. He didn't even have double-digit fantasy points, I believe. He was that kept and contained by Steve Spagnuolo's defense. But Lou Anarumo did a good job containing Mahomes really until that fourth quarter. So yeah, I mean Indianapolis, what they did to compete with Kansas City, I think that proves they are a very, very real team. If they have not proven it already, I'm taking the Colts at home here. I think it's a little bit of a Jonathan Taylor rebound game. I know he's playing the Texans defense. I get that. Texas defense, probably the best unit in the league right there with Denver. But I'm taking Indianapolis in this game at home. They come from behind, lost last week. They need a rebound. They're still fighting for that number 1 seed in the AFC, believe it or not. Only Denver and New England are above them. They're trying to get that. They beat Denver earlier in the year. So I'm gonna take the Indianapolis Colts in this game to get it done and go to 9-3 on the season, I believe. Next up, it is the New Orleans Saints traveling to Hard Rock Stadium to take on the Miami Dolphins. The Saints, Tyler Shuck made his second career start, I believe, at quarterback, third career start maybe. It's been 2 or 3 at this point, but on Sunday versus the Atlanta Falcons in the Superdome in a game I picked them to win, and they lost. Kirk Cousins did his thing. Bijan Robinson did his thing. Kyle Pitts did his thing. The Falcons ended up winning that game. And I don't believe the Saints had an offensive touchdown in that game. I think their only touchdown was a defensive touchdown. But yeah, they're sitting at 2-9, I believe, right now. Obviously, looking towards the draft, looking towards year 2 with Kellen Moore, looking towards year 2 with Tyler Shuck. And they're looking towards the future. Obviously, the season's obviously over. So yeah, they're looking towards the future. As for the Dolphins, they are coming off well rested off their bye week. They are trying to get back into the thick of things. Obviously, it might be far fetched. It might be too far at this point, too far gone. They're sitting at 4-7. They're trying to get back into the thick of things. So who knows? Since Chris Greer was fired, they are 2-0, I believe. 2-0 after he's fired after that Baltimore Thursday Night Football game. And I'm going to take them in this game again. They're coming off the bye, obviously, as I said, well rested. Devon Achane, I expect him to do his thing. I expect Jalen Waddle to do his thing, and I expect the Dolphins to win another game. This is just a team they're far superior than. This is not saying I think the Dolphins are rebounding to get back in the AFC playoff picture, but this is just a game I think they're going to win. I think they're going to get it done and go to 5-7 on the season, and yeah, get it done. Next up, it is the Atlanta Falcons taking on the New York Jets in MetLife Stadium. The Falcons, they are coming off a win versus the New Orleans Saints last week. Kirk Cousins, he's the starter for the remainder of the season at this point, most likely. Michael Penix Jr., he's pretty much done for the year. He's had season-ending surgery. So, again, for the Atlanta Falcons, it's looking towards next year. No first-round pick, so it's a little rough in the future. Their season's pretty much over at this point, obviously, as well. Bijan Robinson is still one of the premier running backs in the league. Drake London is doubtful for this game, so he's not expected to go. So we'll see. As for the Jets, it will be game number 2 with Tyrod Taylor at the helm. Aaron Glenn decided to make the decision before the Baltimore Ravens game last week that Tyrod Taylor is the guy at starter now, putting Justin Fields to the bench. And I don't really know who's going to win this game necessarily. I mean, the Jets, they didn't look very good on offense, even with Tyrod Taylor last week. Tyrod Taylor, seasoned vet, obviously. And he just doesn't give you the running ability that Justin Fields does. Even though I've never been a Justin Fields believer, even out of the draft, out of Ohio State, I've never been a fan of his. But I mean, Atlanta has more playmakers here. Bijan Robinson's probably due for a big day. Tyler Algier is going to do his thing, even with no Drake London, Darnell Mooney, um, Kyle Pitts. Those guys are going to do their thing, and I think they're going to get it done here. Even with how low I think of the Falcons this year and how kind of they've collapsed, I think they're going to win it. Kirk Cousins is a seasoned vet, so we got Kirk Cousins versus Tyrod Taylor in the Big 2025. What timeline are we living in? I'm going to take the Falcons in this game. Next up, it is the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Raymond James Stadium. I don't know why I blanked on that for a second. Cardinals, they're coming into this game off of a close loss, sloppy game overall for both teams versus the Jacksonville Jaguars last week, where Jacoby Brissett slinging that ball 50 times again. Didn't have as much completions as he did 2 weeks ago in San Francisco 49ers, but he did his thing again. Trey McBride's obviously, he's a baller, one of the best tight ends in the league, if not the very best. Has an argument for it. Um, Arizona, it's the time of year where you just have to be done with certain teams. You just have to say their season is over. You have to put their foot down and just say that. But Arizona's probably one of those teams at this point. I was very high on them coming into the year. They've kind of gotten lucky this year, playing a very tough division with 3 perennial NFC contenders right now: the Rams, the Seahawks, and some would argue the 49ers, even with how unhealthy they are. It's been a pretty bad year for them, been a pretty rough year. Jacoby Brissett is the starter for here on out. Kyler Murray's at the bench right now, but yeah. As for the Buccaneers, we'll see about Baker Mayfield in this one. He was a non-participant. If he cannot go, it'll be Teddy Bridgewater, I believe. Teddy Bridgewater will be the guy that stepped in. He stepped in for the Baker Mayfield on Sunday Night Football versus the Rams. One bright side for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Bucky Irving is expected to return for this game. So you have that three-headed monster at running back with Bucky Irving, Rashad White, and Sean Tucker. Obviously, you got Chris Godwin. He's back in the fold now. You got Emeka Ibuka still doing his thing. Kate Otten still a baller at tight end. I could see this one being very close because of what Brissett brings to the table. If Baker doesn't play in this game, I will consider switching my pick. If Baker plays, I am 100% going to Tampa Bay. This is a game they need to win. They've lost a few in a row at this point, and I'm going to take them. But if Baker doesn't play in this game, which he didn't participate in practice today, so there's a real chance he doesn't, then I might end up switching to Arizona. So I'll talk about that more next week, but we'll see about that. I'm gonna take Tampa Bay for now. I think Bucky Irving being back will be big. I think he'll have a huge game. He'll have a big impact, but give me the Bucks right now. And our last 1 o'clock Eastern game, it's an AFC South matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans. The Jaguars, led by Liam Cohen, have their sights set on an AFC playoff spot, and they're in it right now. They're 7-4 right now. It's been a weird season for them. Trevor Lawrence has not necessarily been great at all. Necessarily, I mean, the driving force of their team has been Travis Etienne, Bashal Tutin, LaQuint Allen. I mean, Parker Washington has even came up big at times. Like they've had guys traded for Jacoby Myers. Their defense played well. Devin Lloyd has played very good at linebacker this year. So that's been the driving force of their team. Liam Cohen is doing a great job though. Trevor Lawrence last week I think had 3 interceptions. Did he have four? I think he had three. But yeah, it wasn't a good game for him. Luckily for them, they're playing the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, division rival, division names. Anything can happen. This one's in Nashville. So we'll see. This could be a game that the Titans can be on, spoiler alert, against the Jacksonville Jaguars. These two teams know each other well, obviously. New head coach versus interim head coach. Mike McCoy is leading Tennessee Titans. I will say Cam Ward did really have probably one of his best, if not his best, performance of the season against the Seattle Seahawks defense, which is one of the best units in the league. Shamir DK is getting involved. I mean, Io Manor's getting involved. The Titans, Cam Ward, it's been a rough year for him, obviously, but he's looking up and up. It's a rookie. It's year one. I am going to take the Jags in this game because I think they're fighting for more. I think Liam Cohen. I love Liam Cohen. Every single picks episode, I rave about Liam Cohen, how much I like him. So I'm going to take them in this game, but I would not be surprised at home in Nissan Stadium if Tennessee was on upset alert for this game. Two rivals, two teams that know each other, but I'm going to take the Jags in this one. Next up, we go to the 4 o'clock slate of games. This one starts at 4:05 here. Only three 4 o'clock games this week, hence three Thanksgiving games, Black Friday, yada yada yada. We only have three 4 o'clock games this week. We start off, which was supposed to be a really good matchup, but it's kind of meh now. It is the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Seattle Seahawks in Lumen Field. The Vikings. JJ McCarthy is the story here. JJ McCarthy is in concussion protocol. I believe he is not expected to play in this game. If he cannot play, it is Max Brosmer. Max Brosmer will be the guy for the Minnesota Vikings. It's been a frustrating year for the Minnesota Vikings as a whole. Sitting at 4-7 right now. Justin Jefferson's had a bit of a down year. Jordan Addison has really not gotten going since the early suspension. Had Carson Wentz in there at points, and it's just been rough. It's been rough for the Minnesota Vikings this season. So we'll see what the rookie quarterback can do. As for the Seahawks, it is Sam Darnold playing his former team. Um, Brian Flores' defense is no pushover, despite how bad the Vikings are this year. They're 4-7, and how much their offense really has not been able to get going. Brian Flores' defense is very good. It's a very good unit, one of the best defensive coordinators in the league, if not the very best. It's no pushover unit, but JSN is doing his thing this year. He's on pace to break Calvin Johnson's receiving yards record, which is absolutely insane to say. So we'll see if he ends up doing it. But I'm gonna take the Seattle Seahawks right now. I hate to say it, but they look like a contender in the NFC. They look that good. Sam Darnold, I do not necessarily trust him come playoff time, but right now in the regular season, that's what you gotta judge it off. He's playing that good. Cooper Kupp's still there. Rashid Shaheed's in the fold now. I mean, the defense is great. They have guys playing great, great football. Devon Witherspoon's a baller, one of the best corners in the league. I mean, yeah. Seattle's gonna win this game, I think. They're a perennial contender in the NFC, and they have their sights set on the NFC West title right there with Los Angeles. They will meet again in Week 16, I believe, on Thursday Night Football. So I'm looking forward to that game. It's matchup number two. That one, that time, it's going to be in Seattle in matchup number two. So should be very interesting in that one. But right now, I'm taking the Seahawks. Next up in the 425 slate, we have a little bit of a divisional rematch here. It is the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Los Angeles Chargers in SoFi Stadium. The Raiders, right now, it's been a rough year for them. It's been a rough year at the bottom line. They are coming off the firing of Chip Kelly on Sunday night after their loss versus the Cleveland Browns. Pete Carroll, it's been a rough year. It's been a rough year. We'll see if Brady and Mark Davis end up making the decision to move on from Pete Carroll after 1 year. Despite how legendary of a coach he is, one Super Bowl with Seattle. He's been a head coach at four different NFL franchises: the Jets, Patriots, the Seahawks, and the Raiders now. It's been a rough year. Geno Smith's not playing well. I expect him to be one and done in Las Vegas. Ashton Jeanty, their star-studded rookie, has still not gotten going. But yeah, it's been a rough year for them. One of the worst teams in the league. As for the Chargers, they're coming in this one well rested. Last time we saw them take the field was a blowout loss versus Liam Cohen's Jacksonville Jaguars, 35-6, I believe it was. In that game, Jacksonville came in determined. They came in ready to win, and their defense did their thing. Justin Herbert was kind of shut down. Lab McConkey didn't really do much, and yeah. News for the Chargers in this game: Omarion Hampton was activated off IR. I don't know how much he'll play in this game, if he'll play in this game at all. I'm not really sure on that, but if he can't go, if he's still healing a little bit, it will be Kamani Vidal again. But I expect Hampton to be ready to play here. That will be a big, big addition back. The rookie running back had some good games start the season, so yeah. I'm not necessarily a big fan of the Chargers either. I think without Joe Alt, without Rashawn Slater, obviously for the entire year at this point, the offense looks a lot different. They have a tough schedule coming up. They still got Kansas City again. They still got Houston. They still got Denver again. So they have some tough teams to play. I would not be surprised if they finish the season 8-9 or 9-8, despite being at 7 wins right now. But I'm gonna take the Chargers in this game. They're gonna get to 8 wins right here. This is a better team than the Raiders. They're playing at home in this one. Well rested off the bye. Matchup number two between these, and I expect the Chargers to get the seasonal sweep and go to 4-0 in the AFC West, which is a very, very big advantage. Clinch over 500 in the division this year, but they still got the two top dogs to go with the Kansas City Chiefs and Denver Broncos. So we'll see what happens with those games. So yeah, but right now I'm taking the Chargers. Next up, we have your main AFC matchup doubleheader game on CBS between the Buffalo Bills and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Bills, they are on a little bit of a mini bye now, 10-day rest, obviously playing the Thursday night football game last week versus the Houston Texans, where Dion Dawkins and the offensive line overall was bullied. I get it. Some of the sacks were Josh Allen's fault, but in Houston's defensive line is as ferocious as anybody's with Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter, but it was not a good performance for the Buffalo Bills. That's the bottom line. Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions in that game, and they're sitting at 7-4 right now. If they want to catch the New England Patriots, it's pedal to the metal. It's pedal to the metal right now. They play them in a few weeks in week 15. It is pedal to the metal to catch New England Patriots at this point. If you lose this game and New England wins, wrap it up. Wrap it up at this point. So even if New England wins even if New England wins tomorrow, even if New England wins on Monday, I think it's probably over, but Buffalo can still fight. That's the bottom line. So they're most likely looking at an AFC wildcard spot right now. They're sitting at 7-4. They're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are coming off a loss to the Chicago Bears last weekend, 31-28. Aaron Rodgers did not play in this game, but he is a one and done on the out list. He will be returning in this game. Mason Rudolph played last week, stepped in pretty well, knows the Steelers system well, so he played respectable. Steelers offense almost got the win there. Um, but I mean, Aaron Rodgers, no matter what, I'm taking the Bills in this game. They got a mini bye here. Mini bye AFC matchup going on the road. I'm taking the Bills. They know in their head, pedal to the metal. Pedal to the metal. You got to catch New England. You got to try your best to catch New England at least. Um, and they can't take their second straight loss right now. I mean, I just think Buffalo's gonna win this game. I think Allen's gonna play better. I think James Cook's gonna do his thing. I think the defense is gonna play a little bit better. And Pittsburgh's running game that isn't necessarily that great. Jalen Warren's a good player in his own right, but I'm taking Buffalo in this game to get it done. So yeah, give me the Bills. And on Sunday Night Football, I cannot tell you why this one didn't get flexed out, but here we are. It is the Denver Broncos and the Washington Commanders. Obviously, when the NFL looks at this game preseason, you look at this game and you're like, Bo Nix versus Jaden Daniels. Denver, who was in the playoffs last season, versus Washington, who was in the NFC Championship last season. And now we're sitting at Week 13 Sunday Night Football, and that's just not what we're getting right now. Denver, in their own right, they're 9-2 right now, well rested off the bye week. Their defense is top three in the league, probably. Patrick Surtain did go limited in practice today, which I saw, which should be a big boost for them. Um, but yeah, they're sitting at 9-2. They want to catch New England Patriots in the number one seed, so it will be a very, very key run towards the end. You have Denver, you have New England both playing on the Sunday night and the Monday night games. So yeah, As for the Commanders, Jaden Daniels did speak this week and say if he's healthy, he wants to play, despite the Commanders' record. Similar to Joe Burrow with the Bengals, no matter what the Commanders' record is, he wants to step out on that field and play. So, a lot of people are going to say the same exact thing they said to Joe Burrow: stay out, get ready for next season, get ready for the future. But he's a football player. He wants to play football. That's the bottom line. But I can't pick him this game. I'm taking Denver to get the win here. They have their sights set on the AFC's number one seed. They have their sights set on the AFC West crown. I mean, come on. I got to take the Broncos in this game. So, yeah. And on Monday Night Football, you have the team with, or I should say, the first team eliminated from the NFL playoffs in the New York Giants. Still electric, though. Still a very fun team to watch. Versus the first team to 10 wins in the National Football League in New England Patriots. So, yeah. The New York Giants. They're coming off of a loss in overtime versus the Detroit Lions. Competed very, very well. Jameis Winston, obviously, as electric as ever, as fun as ever. One of the most entertaining players in the league, if not actually probably the most entertaining player in the league to watch and listen to. His pregame speeches, his mantra, his everything, absolutely electric. In this game, we'll see. It might be Jackson Dart. I believe he is starting to get towards the end stages of concussion protocol. Jackson Dart versus Drake May. That should be a very, very intriguing matchup, and it could be an even better matchup looking 3 years down the road when they're two absolute superstars. Well, Drake May is already a superstar, but Jackson Dart is still getting there. As for the Patriots, similar to Denver, they have their sights set on an AFC West. I mean, AFC West, AFC East crown. Trying to pull away from the Buffalo Bills, they have their sights set on the AFC's number one seed. Still got a pretty easy cakewalk schedule from here on out. They still play the Jets, still play the Dolphins, so they have some easy teams left on the schedule. They're coming off a win versus my Cincinnati Bengals, where we won't talk about the no call at the end versus Mike Gesicki. That should have been a flag, but it is what it is. That's the nature of the NFL. Um, yeah, Drake May wasn't necessarily special in that game, but he threw a couple bad interceptions early, settled in, kind of tore apart the Bengals defense, and he did his thing, and the Patriots won the game. That's the bottom line. He will be without rookie left tackle, first round pick Will Campbell for at least 4 games. He was placed on injured reserve today. I don't really care though. New England's gonna win this game. Mike Vrabel has his guys rolling. Obviously, everybody knows the story about the Patriots this year. They're absolutely going off, and they look like one of the best teams in the league. They look way ahead of schedule, and they are absolutely rolling. So, yeah, I'm gonna take the Patriots this game, with my lock being Denver over Washington. That is my lock of the week, and my upset being my Bengals over the Ravens. You think I'm not picking the Bengals on Thanksgiving primetime? I'm so pumped for the game. I don't even care if we're 3-8, bro. Bro's back. But to recap, as always, Detroit, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Los Angeles Rams, San Francisco, Indianapolis, Miami, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Jacksonville, Seattle, Los Angeles Chargers, Buffalo, Denver, and New England. Well, that was something. So, yeah, those are the week 13 picks. And now let's go over the power rankings real quick, and then we will sign off and say happy Thanksgiving. And here are the week number 13 power rankings. For the past few weeks, it's been the Los Angeles Rams at number one, and they remain there. They are still at number one, followed by Denver. They stay the same as last week as well, coming off the bye. New England and Seattle both jump one spot at 3 and 4, followed by Philadelphia, Kansas City, Indianapolis, Detroit, Buffalo, San Francisco, rounding out the top 10. Houston, big win over Buffalo, just outside of the top 10. Followed by the Ravens and Packers, both stay the exact same at 12 and 13, coming off wins. Followed by Chicago, Jacksonville, Los Angeles, both those teams go down one. Tampa Bay, big decrease. Baker Mayfield's health is a question, coming off the blowout loss versus Los Angeles. Dallas, Pittsburgh, Carolina, Miami, Arizona, Minnesota, Atlanta. The Bengals up one off a loss. Yeah, up one off a loss. Burrow's healthy, makes us a little bit better. The defense has slowly been playing better in the past few weeks. I have us at number 25. Okay, followed by Cleveland, New York Giants, New Orleans down 3 spots with a loss to Atlanta. The Jets and your bottom 3 teams, Washington, Las Vegas, and Tennessee. It's probably been the same for 3 weeks now. I can tell you one thing for sure. These 2 teams are easily the worst 2 teams in the league. Las Vegas, Tennessee, 2 worst teams in the league. Zero disputing that. But yeah, scroll over it real quick. Those are your week 13 power rankings. Thanksgiving week, one of the best weekends of the year. Obviously, tomorrow we have football. We have Packers Lions, we have Chiefs Cowboys, and we have Bengals Ravens. What more could you ask for? A great Thanksgiving slate. And on Black Friday, we have the Egg Bowl. We have Bears versus Eagles. We have Texas versus Texas A&M. And on Saturday, we have Michigan Ohio State, and we have the Iron Bowl on prime time in Jordan Hare Stadium. We have a full NFL Sunday on Sunday, and we have Monday Night Football. Who has it better than us, right? Who has it better than us? I ask myself that every single weekend. Who has it better than us? Enjoy your Thanksgiving, people. Before I get out of here, if you guys did enjoy today's video, please like, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications for more content exactly like this. Obviously, no content over the weekend. We have Thanksgiving, we have Black Friday. I'll see y'all next week, next Tuesday with the 365 recap. I hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving weekend. Enjoy the holiday. Who has it better than us? I'll see y'all next time. Happy Thanksgiving. And as always, go Bengals.